What's happening, guys? Sunday, Saturday. Happy Saturday, guys. I hope you all have had a wonderful day so far, especially that Manchester United have picked up 3 points, big 3 points. And, guys, the thing that I've been seeing since Manchester United game ended about an hour ago is absolutely outrageous. I see people mad at the fact that United have won because it doesn't suit their agenda to get the manager sacked. But it is what it is. We're going to talk about the game. Obviously, I don't really feel like there's a lot to talk about because it wasn't the best performance. Big up to everyone in the chat. Shout out to Tuan Lumba in the chat and Steffi as well. Steffi, I just left that channel. I just had to move. I was hearing some craziness. I was hearing some outrageous takes. But it is what it is. You guys know it's not a match day without any sort of hot takes after a Manchester United result. 3 points in the bag, which is really all that matters to me. I'm not gonna lie. A, momentum, picking up momentum, and B, it's big 3 points. You saw how much that it meant to the manager, the way that he celebrated that Bruno goal. And you know what? When I say that there's not a lot to talk about, I'm lying. There is a bit to talk about, but it's more so to do with the fact that I have some questions about quite a few players in the team, and I want to hear you guys' thoughts regarding the game. So make sure you hit the like button if you've just rolled in right now. But like I said, 3 points at Craven Cottage, another extra time winner. I swear we beat them at Craven Cottage last year with an extra time winner from Garnacho. Big up to Koala says, big up Mina. I'm offended by how happy you are, Mina. Listen, I'm happy because it's 3 points. It's as simple as that. Get behind the manager. The manager needs these points. We've needed a goal from somewhere. It would have been 3 consecutive games without a goal. I definitely did not want that. I'm not going to say I'm ecstatic. I'm not going to say I am happy about 3 points because, guys, at the end of the day, at the end of the season, when we look back, yeah, we're not going to be like, oh, 3 points against Fulham, but it was a crap performance. No, we're just going to be like, oh, it was 3 points on the table. So that's all that matters. Yes, I'm not going to paint over the cracks, as people like to call it, because we got problems. We've got issues. It seems like even our rotation players are just not cutting it right now. I'm going to start with the biggest elephant in the room, I would say, is Anthony. I can't bear to see that guy again in a Manchester United shirt starting. I can't bear to see Anthony starting again. I don't know what hold he has over Erik Ten Hag, but today's performance and just performances over the last couple months have just been, you know what, since the Barcelona game when he scored the winner, I can't think of any other performance that he's impressed me since. Like, I can't think of anything. Today, he's just poor decision making, ridiculous flicks and tricks, and that Brazilian flair that he was praised for at the beginning is now becoming a bit of a nuisance to the team. I just thought, what does this guy have over Erik Ten Hag to start every game? And not just start, but also not get hooked. Not get hooked is the biggest thing, I would say, is the fact that he's been able to play what? Today, 65-ish minutes, 70 minutes. And oh my god, it was probably more it was more frustrating to watch Anthony than it was to watch Garnacho. And Garnacho was a little bit frustrating too. But the thing is, I feel like Garnacho gets a lot of leeway because of his age. He's still raw in his ability, all of that kind of stuff. Tuan Lumba says, nothing to build on. We will just be hoping for miracles. I'm not going to lie, guys. I didn't feel like we were going to score. I did not feel like we were going to score. I didn't feel like we were really creating much. It's funny how, when Højlund comes off and you saw him lash out when he came off, I think he kicked the bench. We don't find him, or we don't try to find him, or they don't try to link up with him. And even when they do try to do that stuff, it just doesn't work. Today, Calvin Bassey, physicality, Højlund up against that kind of physicality, yeah, because Calvin Bassey's levels of physicality is next levels. Yeah, that's next levels. That's all I have to say. But he was struggling with that physicality. Bassey was pushing him around like he was in daycare, like he was bullying him for snacks at nursery or something. Like he was literally, for a player that we've praised for, coming on against Arsenal, going, showing physicality and tenacity against Arsenal's backline. Today, he wasn't cutting it. But I'm not putting all the criticism on him, because even when he was trying to get into good positions, Garnacho was putting in ridiculous crosses, poor crosses, absolutely poor crosses, poor decision making. He'll try, cut back cut the ball across goal, for, the second runner like Scott McTominay or something. Hoof a ball into the air. Højlund ain't going to get that. And I just feel like when Højlund came off and Martial came on, suddenly when Pellistri came on, they were more direct into the box. Højlund wasn't there anymore. Martial's physical presence is not as, large as Højlund's one. So even though Martial is there, big up to Martial and Pellistri, because really they really caused the goal for us just by pressing and, not giving up on the second ball and just being a nuisance to Fulham's backline. But Pellistri was putting in balls into the box once he came on. Okay, once Højlund came off. Same for Mason Mount. And I'm going to talk about, some of the players today that came on as substitutes, because I'm not going to lie, guys. We spent 60 million on Mount, brought in Amrabat as a Casemiro replacement, but Erik Ten Hag decided to go with Eriksen instead, which I understand is probably for, transitional balls, transitioning from the back line to the forward line, someone to carry the ball, someone that can pass well, etc. But you see in defensive transition how much of a liability Eriksen is. Ugh. God damn. Shout out to Red Scare Claire, says, I don't think he's a Premier League player, but I'm sure his off-field stuff isn't happening. In that case, don't play him. If he's impacted mentally by what's happening outside of his footballing life, don't play him. Just don't play him. Just, let him let that be kind of sorted out, and then let him come back, because right now he's a bigger hindrance than anything else. Big up to Adam, says, Mina, we were awful. You know what, guys? Like I said, 3 points is 3 points. Yeah, performance wasn't an amazing. It wasn't a good performance, I wouldn't even say. But at the end of the season, when we finish in whatever position we finish, if we finish in the top 4, you're gonna look back and be like, them 3 points against Fulham were big. Those were big points. I can't lie. There's not been one game that we've picked up 3 points this season that I felt like we've had a good performance, and that's very quick. That is a very, very, I think, that's a big red flag. That's a big, big red flag. That, there's been no game this season. How many points we got on the board? How many games we've won? And there's not a game that I think, oh yeah, that was a good performance. Every game, it seems like we're just scraping a win. We're just about getting by. Shout out to Koala, says, not Brazilian, Bolivian. Anthony's mom is Bolivian and she moved to Brazil after Anthony was born. Erik Ten Hag and Anthony is like Ned Stark and Jon Snow from Game of Thrones. I wish I understood that reference, guys, because I've watched one season of Game of Thrones. I back Erik Ten Hag because there's no point sacking another manager when the whole infrastructure is all over the place. That is a big part of it. The infrastructure. Big up to Dead and Gone, says, Garnacho has positives to negate his negatives. Anthony has virtually no positives. I hate saying it, but he's one of the worst players I've ever seen in a United shirt. No hyperbole. Do you guys think he's the worst player that United have ever signed post Sir Alex Ferguson? Bear in mind, we've signed some questionable people. We signed Bastian Schweinsteiger randomly. We signed Schneiderlin very randomly. We've signed the likes of Di Maria, Memphis Depay, people who've had poor performances in United shirts. Falcao. Do you guys think Anthony is the worst one that we've signed post Sir Alex Ferguson? And I think also the price. I think it's the price tag that makes it a lot. He's more subject to criticism because of the price tag, because of that value. Look at all the people we bought for big price tags. Every other year we've spent 70+ million on a player. If it wasn't Pogba, it was Maguire. If it weren't Maguire, it was Sancho. If it weren't Sancho, Anthony. Every other year we've spent 70+ million. All three of them, I think all of those players have been subject to a high ceiling because of their price tag. Harry Maguire, Paul Pogba, all of them have had, a high ceiling of expectations because of their price tag. And I think it's the same with Anthony. And also, I think Anthony is subject to, obviously a lot of criticism because that's the manager's signing. The manager went and brought a player that he worked with. So I think also that's another reason why he's kind of criticized a lot. Big up to Yusuf, says, as long as Maguire, Anthony, Martial, Bruno, Rashford keep on playing, we'll never move forward. The funny thing is, two of those people that you've just named have important contributions today. I thought Harry Maguire was man of the match. And this is not me sitting here and taking back any criticisms that I've given him, because criticism has been warranted in the past. But I respect Harry Maguire for the way that he's dealt with his situation at Manchester United. Essentially, he knows the manager's been wanting to push him out, been trying to push him out. It never worked. So what did he do? Well, what has he done? Every time he's been called upon to play, whether it's a 15-minute cameo, whether it's a 90-minute performance, he's performed well enough that he doesn't get criticized. And the last couple games that he's played, I think maybe Bars, the game that was poor. Anytime we've won and he's been in the team, he's had good performances. Today, I thought he was man of the match. I genuinely think Harry Maguire was man of the match. My guy was playing concussed for half the game. Defensively, him and Johnny Evans, I think against teams like this, they can work. It's not a long-term solution, but definitely in this season, in this short term where we're so, injury-ridden across our back line, it could work. Do I want it to work? No. Do I want it, for the foreseeable future? Absolutely not. But today, I think Harry Maguire, player of the match. I think he was player of the match. I think Bruno only got it because obviously he scored the goal. And I think that's the common theme with Bruno Fernandes. You guys know it. It's the common theme with Bruno Fernandes where he has a bad performance and it's an assist and a goal and something allows him to win player of the match. But I also appreciate Bruno's consistency to try and get the goal, because you see in that moment, Pelestri chases the ball down. It takes a hit off a Fulham player. Martial's pressing him. He tries to clear it out. It lands to Bruno. Bruno finds He finds Pelestri. Pelestri finds Bruno again. He sends 3 players with a fake shot and manages to get the shot on goal, on target. Isn't this exactly what people want from the captain? To dig deep when United need a goal and performs to create some sort of magic, because that's what he's done, and people are still getting onto him. The performance wasn't great. The performance wasn't great across the entire, I'd say, midfield and front line. But the things that we've criticized, I'm not even gonna say we, because I ain't criticized him. Actually, have I? Yeah, I have. The things that we've criticized him for in the last year and a half, i.e., being a captain by example, digging deep and, pulling the team through. That's what he did today with his goal. And people are still mad about it. What I would appreciate more and what I would like more is a better performance across the 90 minutes. But when you need a goal, and I'm not going to lie, guys, we needed them 3 points. Let's be absolutely honest with ourselves. We needed those 3 points. Erik Ten Hag needed those 3 points. The players needed them 3 points. You see the away fans, the way they were celebrating. You see the team, the way they were celebrating. Erik Ten Hag was jumping up and down on the touchline. We are in a bad predicament right now, and every point matters. And when you can get 3 points from one game, you take it, you snatch it and run. I won't complain, especially with the problems that we know that we have. The issues. I think there's a lot of issues surrounding the players and at the club that we're just not aware of. We could talk about, Rafael Varane. That's another thing. But when you need 3 points and your captain digs deep to get them 3 points, just be happy. You don't have to. I'm not saying celebrate and, we're winning the league and all of that stuff. But in the moment, be happy. Don't be mad at the fact that United won because it was a crap performance because you want the manager out. That's weird. That's weird. Big up to Kadeem, says, hello, Mina. Hope everyone's doing well. I hope you're doing good too. I saw Everton were winning. 1-0. Twalumba says, sideways and back passing isn't helpful. I know we brought Onana to build from behind, but it hasn't worked, especially with these players. I don't think we will be able to build from the back when we have this particular back line. I think building from the back is, more so with Luke Shaw, Lisandro Martinez, etc. I think one thing that helps is that we have 2 centre-backs that can pass out well. They can, I saw a lot of balls, diagonal switches, Johnny Evans to one side, Maguire to the other side, and it worked a few times to Garnacho and Anthony. If they had better output, maybe we could have created more chances from it. But these are not players that can play on the ball passes, quick movement, can get out, carry the ball, etc. But they are defenders that can pass. Diogo Dalot, though, that guy, he's on fraud watch for me. He's actually on fraud watch. Maguire plays good against small teams. He does. Maybe that's the games that we need him for. I think with the big games, he's under more of a microscope. He's under more of a microscope of criticism. So I feel like he's subject to more criticism. Mina, I let out my Erik Ten Hag autisms to affect my FPL choices. I benched Onana. Also, what did you do on FPL, which you were supposed to share after we won? Not after we won. I can only share it after the weekend. Actually, I can just share it now because it's not that big of a deal. I triple captain Salah because they're playing against Luton, and I just feel like he might bag a hat trick or a few assists. I feel like Luton are going to get battered. But that's just me being optimistic. When I was young, I got married, I divorced, and I realized this person wasn't who I thought she was. Erik Ten Hag needs to follow my example with Anthony. Give me a call, Erik. We'll talk. I'll get you through it. Big up to Derek God, because that just got deep very quickly. That got deep very quickly. I didn't expect that. Big up to you, man. I'm glad you left the person when you realized that they were not who you thought they were. Well done, Yaqub. Done well. Jacob. Big performance from Jacob for me, I think, today. Luton could beat us. I can't lie. We got Luton in like 2 weeks. We got Luton in 2 weeks. Let's talk about, guys, Palestri. Let's talk about Facundo Palestri, because I see a lot of people saying, right hand side up for grabs. I feel like we're putting a lot of, because you see Garnacho today, guys, and also Palestri when he starts. It seems like when they start, it's not as impressive as their cameos when it comes to 10-15 minutes. I feel like, Palestri, we know what we're getting with him. Direct, he'll hit the baseline, drag back, cross, whatever, go at his fullback. I don't think he is ready there to start on the right-hand side. I would rather see, and let's talk about actually this, because this is one question I have about Erik Ten Hag, is mainly to do with his signings. It seems like the people he signs, he don't play. I get it, the midfield today, Eriksen was the option, McTominay playing a bit more higher. I think McTominay does better in that, more higher role. That's the role, if you lot remember, beginning of the season, that's where Mount was playing with Bruno. And now he's opted for McTominay, the same McTominay that he was trying to ship off in the summer. He's opted to put McTominay there. Why are we spending 60 million to buy Mason Mount if you're just going to have him coming on doing 10-15 minute cameos? I'd much rather see Mason Mount on the right-hand side than Anthony. Hell, I would even rather see Speed, or, his Speed is so funny in the charity match that he played in. I'd rather see him on the right-hand side. I'd rather see him on the right-hand side with instead of Anthony, if I'm being actual honest. One thing I don't get, though, Amrabat was a Casemiro, replacement or an alternative bench. Doesn't even sniff the pitch today. Doesn't even come on in a game where Paulinho, Iwobi, they've got actual quality. Fulham had decent quality in that midfield. Pereira, not good enough, I would say, to play at Manchester United, but he works at Fulham. Iwobi, good player, bro. He nutmegged Eriksen twice. I saw him nutmeg Eriksen twice. He likes that little nutmeg to get past players. He did it like 2 times. I think he did it like 5 times altogether in the game. Paulinho, you see that relentlessness. Him and Bruno kind of have that same drive. I think they got a similar drive, and you saw it as well. But players that you've signed, now you choose not to play. I don't understand. I just don't understand. What's the point of signing these players? We spent a whole summer chasing De Jong. Yeah. Didn't end up getting him. Ended up getting Casemiro, completely different profile of a player. The following summer, you spend the entire, first 3 weeks of the window chasing Mason Mount. You sign him, give him the number 7 shirt, and now he's holding bench less than 3 months into the season. There is questions surrounding a lot of stuff. Even I feel like the substitutions today took too long. I feel like the substitutions, they took too long. They could have happened a bit earlier. I just don't get it. I honestly don't get the whole Amrabat thing. I don't get the Mason Mount thing. I feel like when Mason Mount did come on, he was a bit, he was good. I think he was good enough. But that's in a game where everybody looks bad. So if you come on and you look, if you look 1% better than what was on the pitch, you stand out. And I think that's why everyone was so wowed by Palestri, and people were impressed with the Mason Mount cameo, etc. What's not to understand? Big up to Ginger Bish says, what's not to understand, Mina? We are a circus and a joke. Why are you surprised at anything? I don't know why I'm surprised. You're right. I don't know why I'm surprised. I think I'm also surprised at the fact that Erik Ten Hag has had reasonable control over the players that he could have got and the players that he's chosen to sign. And it makes me I'm not going to lie, guys, it makes me start to question what Sancho has said about favoritism and all of that. I'm kind of looking at it in a different perspective now. I'm looking at it in a different perspective, because I'm thinking, how can you go and sign players and then just choose not to play them. Bear in mind, Rasmus Højlund, I think out of all the signings that we signed this summer that we paid big bucks for, Rasmus Højlund was the only one that the technical scouting team basically approved. He was a club signing. Højlund was a club signing. They apparently analyzed data and, went through a lot of stuff and said, yep, this is the guy that we're going for. Erik Ten Hag wanted Harry Kane. So Rasmus Højlund was the player that you didn't want to sign, but you're still playing him because, hell would break loose if you don't. But the players that you did want to sign is, something that you're not going for at all. It's an option that you're not deciding at all. Big up to Joe, says, are you streaming Brighton tomorrow, Mina? Yes, I am, live at 6:40 p.m. Kickoff is at 6:45. So I'll be live, and you lot can come through. That's Brighton women, by the way, guys, and Manchester United women's game. Erik Ten Hag has had full control over transfers, which is wrong. Pep doesn't have full control. Klopp doesn't have full control. Erik Ten Hag has had zero support or help from anyone in recruitment. That is a valid point, because a lot of players that Klopp actually wanted to sign in comparison to the players that Liverpool actually ended up signing. It was so funny. I remember seeing he wanted to bring Marco Reus with him from Borussia Dortmund. I think it was over Mane or Salah or over one of them, and the club basically said no. This is who we're signing. And I feel like that's what happens when you've got the right structure in place, when you've got the right leadership in place. It's kind of like you're run like a football club. You're run like a football club. Now imagine, guys, you go to work, yeah. Say you're a cashier at Asda, yeah? You work on the tills at Asda, but you turn up to work and they tell you, oh, yeah, you're going to be on the tills today, but at some point we want you to mop the entire shop floor. Can you also go stack all the tuna and the beans in one aisle? Can you clean the toilets? And can you pack up some home deliveries that need to go out? And then can you go and actually deliver the home deliveries? You weren't hired to do that. You were hired to just sit at the till and, beep, 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 scan stuff. Swipe, scan, put it in a bag up someone's shopping for them, and that's it. But you've been told that you have a bunch of other tasks to do. And I feel like that's actually the situation that Ten Hag's in. Ten Hag has come in as a manager, but on top of that, he's had to be a therapist to people. Because it seems like Manchester United don't have anything in place there. He's had to then go and sign people or find people that he wants to sign, because there's no scouting team, or the recruitment team are clearly not cutting it. Or, guys, do you think that this is what he's asked? Let me play devil's advocate. Yeah, no, I don't like that term. Let me just give a deferring opinion. Do you think he's actually asked for control of transfers and that kind of stuff? Do you think when he came in, he said, listen, I want to authorize the players that I bring in, because I'm playing a certain way and I need certain type of players. So I want to bring in those players. And the club said, okay, fine, because it's the Ten Hag way, it's the Ten Hag style of football. Do you think that that's what's happened? Because really and truly, for him to then come out and say, well, I don't have the players that I had at Ajax to play Ajax style of football. My brother, you've signed all these people. These are all the people you've signed. Bar Casemiro, who I genuinely believe was a club signing. I do not think Casemiro was a Ten Hag signing. I think he was a club signing. They needed a big name, big brand, whatever. So I think Casemiro in that instance is a club signing. But everyone else, Lisandro Martinez, Tyrell Malacia. Where is Malacia even? I actually forgot Tyrell Malacia plays for Manchester United. I actually forgot. Free my guy, man. I hope he's good wherever he is. But Tyrell Malacia, Ericsson, obviously Anthony, Lisandro Martinez. This season, Rasmus Højlund, Mason Mount. We spent 3-4 weeks to sign each one of them. We spent 3 to 4 weeks signing each player. Beitinda, who I ain't even seen. I only just see him in the match day traveling pictures. That's it. And then on the bench, whenever they plan to the bench during a game. That's the only time I've seen it. I ain't seen him suit up once in a Manchester United kit. I don't know why we signed him. I don't know why we signed Amrabat. Don't know why we signed him. Reportedly, the club aren't even impressed with him. Emma Hayes is going. Yes, if you lot follow women's football, Emma Hayes, the bane of my existence in women's football. Manchester United's kryptonite. Yeah, Manchester United's kryptonite. She's leaving Chelsea women at the end of the season, the most decorated manager in women's football. She will not be missed. maybe by Chelsea fans, but rival fans will not miss her. And I think she's going to the US national team. I was typing something else. Is his name not Baytinder? Am I saying his name wrong? Sorry, guys, man. You lot know I got pronunciation problems. I apologize if I've said it wrong. Football managers make mistakes. Competent backroom staff help limit those mistakes, thus giving the team and the coach, the best chance to success. That's facts. That's 100% true. Would you ask for full control if your help is Richard Arnold and John Murtough? Lol. I think I would. What happened to Murtough madness? What happened, guys, to Murtough madness that we were hearing about last summer? Remember when he sat down with a bunch of fans in a pub and he was, transparency, talking to these fans? What happened to Murtough madness? Now he's about to lose his job. He's holding on for dear life because he's about to lose his job. The manager's decisions make it so difficult to 100% get behind him. That midfield had no control, yet still all he did was bring on Mount. Shocking signings, excuse me. That's true. But then again, guys, we never could. I can't remember a game where we've controlled the midfield. I cannot remember. I thought Casemiro and Amrabat would be midfield of the year. I thought we were gonna have the best midfield. We got one guy who lacks, I think, in my opinion, sometimes he lacks discipline. I think he lacks discipline and awareness in Casemiro. As professional as he is, as experienced and polished as he is, I do feel like sometimes he does nonsense. Amrabat, for me, I feel like there's something there, but with the inconsistencies of it's different teams playing every time. There's different backlines, different midfields. He's never gonna truly get an opportunity to build a bond with whatever partner he has in midfield or whoever he has playing behind him. And I feel like he's not really found his feet yet. I think, number one. Number two, he's a physical player. But I think the Premier League's physicality is next levels. I think that's next levels. He's not the quickest, so he will get outpaced, but his recovery is good enough. But we ain't seen it yet. And whatever reason it is, I'm not too sure. I think what he does well is, I don't like the whole side-to-side passing, but I think he does well the ability to pick up the ball, from the left back and then switch it to the winger. I've seen it a few times, but I know a lot of people aren't impressed with him. I know a lot of people are not impressed with him. And this is the guy that's not really, he goes from playing left back 1 minute, central mid next, then not playing, then back again in the lineup. So it's a bit questionable. You can't say someone has full control over transfers when the club is the position to get loan players over bought players, and the club is incapable of selling players. That's true. We know the club's what's the word? Inability. Yeah, the club's inability to sell people. You saw we struggled this summer, man. You lot saw it this summer how much we struggled to get anybody off the books, and it was pretty much impossible. I'm sure people now are actually not mad that we didn't get Maguire off the books, because he's been a decent player this season when called upon. I personally feel no player can impress if they came into this team. I feel for Amrabat, Mount, and Rasmus. Who do I feel bad for the most? I'm trying to think. For me, it's more so the fact that, our front line only has one goal in the Premier League this season. One goal. That says a lot. We spent 70 million on a striker. Marcus Rashford, bro, what is going on with him and the manager? They're saying that he failed a late fitness test, but then the manager said it's contradicting, because yesterday the manager said he was aware. Okay, can I just say, I'm going to quickly talk about this regarding his whole birthday situation after the City game. He came to work. I maybe have a different opinion to everyone, but the way that I see it is he came to work. The day didn't go as planned. Work day ended. Why can't he go celebrate his birthday? It was pre-planned. Why can't he go celebrate? And then he has to apologize to the manager for it, as if it was, do people expect? Footballers are human at the end of the day. Is this people's way of saying, well, if you lost 3-0 to your City rivals, you should cancel your birthday? I don't know. I'm in two ways about this. I know everyone's got different opinions on it, but honestly, I'm in two ways about it. I don't feel like it's as big of a situation as people have made it out to be. I don't feel like there's a need to make it as big of a situation. The fact that the manager came out and said, he apologized, back to thing, is basically like he's throwing shade at Sancho, basically saying, this guy came in and apologized, and back to normal, basically. Back to normal. There's no punishment. There's none of that. He's throwing shade, I feel like, at Jadon Sancho, but the whole thing regarding his birthday thing, then for the manager to come out last night making these comments regarding, the fact that, he shouldn't have done that, and, he apologized and he's available to play against Fulham, and then, someone leaks it online saying, oh, he's actually got a knock, and he's gonna be subject to a pre-game fitness test. Then he's not fit enough to start, not even fit enough to come on. He does not even come on. I'm starting to read between lines here. Maybe I shouldn't be, because it's not. Maybe I'm over reading stuff, over analyzing stuff. But it's a similar situation with Raphael Varane. It's a similar situation with Raphael Varane regarding the whole, oh, he's ill, but then actually he was dropped, and Johnny Evans was picked ahead of him. And then today he's fit enough or well enough to come on for 2 minutes of the game to see the game out. I don't know what's happening behind the closed doors with the players, with Rashford, with Varane, but I hope that it doesn't brew into anything kind of big. But I will say one thing regarding today's match, guys. 3 points is 3 points. I don't care how we get 3 points, as long as we get 3 points on the board. Honestly, I would rather, unless people are telling me that they would rather it's a great amazing performance but we lose, or an amazing performance and we draw, or a scrappy performance and we get 3 points. 3 points is all that matters. The issues on the pitch can be worked on. Honestly, the issues on the pitch can be worked on. It will be worked on. I feel like when you get 3 points, you want the weight on the shoulders of the players, but that weight might be too much for them to carry at some points, especially when it's just piling up. If they're slowly kind of cutting off that weight off their shoulders, I'll take it. If games are going to get better, performances are going to get better, because you're building momentum. You're going into games a bit more confident from the last one because you managed to get 3 points. I'll take it. I don't know how people can be so mad at the fact that United won today. Like, it blows my mind. It confuses me so much. Last minute winner as well. I wouldn't want that. I'm not gonna lie. My heart rate can't handle that. And I did say, I think I said yesterday that I thought we could win or maybe get a draw. Andre Onana, big up to him, because he kept us in the game a bit. He kept us in the game. We've said this all season, Lamo. Listen, this is a season, I think, where it's just going to be difficult. I think overall it's going to be a difficult watch. It's going to be a difficult season. I think it's going to be difficult results. We're going to have to grind the season out. I genuinely think that. We've got to firm it. We've got to ride the wave and firm whatever comes our way. It's going to be a roller coaster. It's going to go down before it goes up. Then it's going to go down again. Then it's going to come back up. I think that's how the season's going to look. That's how I think the season's going to look. And I think Erik Ten Hag, you guys saw what it meant to him today. You saw what the result meant to him. You saw what the goal meant to him. The way that he celebrated it. You saw how important it was. I celebrated it. If you don't celebrate a last minute winner when you are dying for 3 points, I don't know. I can't understand at that point. I couldn't get it. I get some people are very much not convinced about the manager. People have criticized the players for not playing for the manager, but today, that result, to get that last minute goal, it was for themselves and for the manager. I don't think that they could handle being booed. Bear in mind, Anthony got booed off. When Anthony got subbed off, he got booed. When was the last time we've seen Man United players getting booed? I think it was Maguire. It was probably Maguire the last time. But he got booed. I think his time at United is coming to an end. I don't care how we win any game until crucial players come back from injury. If we get crap wins until January, I'm okay with that. Listen, if players are not in form, we've got a makeshift back line. I'm sick of Diogo Dalot. I don't even want to see him again, but I know I will. But I don't want to see him. I can't wait for Luke Shaw to come back. I can't wait for Lisandro Martinez to come back. I can't wait for us to have our normal back line So then at least then we can have some sort of normality, because in the midfield, that midfield is ever changing. 1 minute it's McTominay there. 1 minute it's Amrabat. We got Eriksen playing as a DM. Mason Mount sometimes. Bruno there. That midfield is ever changing. It's literally, I don't think I've seen the same midfield 3 games in a row. Excuse me. Hannibal Mejbri. Kobbie Mainoo back soon. I'm not putting all my hopes on him because he's still an academy product. Still has a lot to learn in terms of first team experience. He might be first team level, but I still think experience-wise, he's got a bit to learn. So I'm not going to put too much weight on his shoulders. But I do look forward to seeing him as well. I look forward to seeing him. That front line, they need to start finding goals from somewhere. And you know what? It's not happening with Anthony in the front line. I know for a fact. As long as Anthony is in that front line, we are not producing goals the way that we should be. But I agree with Dead and Gone. As long as we get 3 points, I don't care right now, because right now it's a difficult, what's the term, like Rome wasn't, I know people hate that, but Rome wasn't built in a day, and it's always going to be difficult moments over what's it called, positive moments, especially with the way the season has been going. Do you expect the club do you expect the manager and the players to turn it around immediately? No, they're not gonna. Day one, today's game, immediately. It's not gonna be, oh yeah, they won 3-0, they battered Fulham, back to normal. United are back to normal. That was never gonna happen. That was never ever gonna happen. Mina, I don't think Amrabat is getting signed on a permanent. I saw an article that said that the club don't want him, but the manager is insistent on him. But like I said, there's so many other kind of midfielders that we can go out and get. Amrabat is not the hill that we need to die on. If it's a loan spell that don't work out, it is what it is. I also wonder, would it have been better in terms of, would it have worked out better, if, he came last season, in a season where we were actually playing well? Would it have worked out better? Is his loan spell not working out because it's just not a good season for us? I'm not too sure. Big up to Dipesh, says any half decent team will beat United right now. Hasn't been sustainable for some time now. Listen, we are right now in a position where we just need to get results. We just need to pick up 3 points after 3 points after 3 points. We've got Everton next week. Then we've got Luton at some point. We've got obviously 2 Champions League games in Copenhagen and Galatasaray. We just need to be picking up points and gaining confidence and momentum going into each game, which is why I'm thinking, you know what, I think we got Copenhagen midweek, and then we got Everton. So it's the perfect time to pick up points against Fulham, because we'll go into the Copenhagen game a little bit more confident. I think it's going to be a hostile crowd. Galatasaray away, that's not going to be easy. Everton away, they're fighting for their lives as well. I think they're winning right now as well. Kadeem said it yesterday, saying that if they won, Everton would be on the same number of points as United. Yeah, Everton are winning. City are winning, 4-0? God damn. 4-0, and Haaland didn't score 1 goal. At least Doku got an assist, and he's got 3 assists. He's got a hat-trick of assists. Is that what a winger looks like? A winger looks like that. Gets points like that. Let me not even go on a rant. Let me not even go on a rant at all. But like I said, it might not be sustainable for now, but December is really the run of games where we need, I would rather we pick up form in November and be confident going into December, rather than, sluggish, dropping points left, right, centre in November, going into December and getting smashed against Newcastle, getting smashed against Chelsea, getting smashed against Liverpool. That's 3 of the 4 games I think that we got in the Premier League month for December. So I prefer for us to pick up some form, be a bit more confident. And if you guys, if people disagree with me, like I said, I'd always love to hear your thoughts regarding that. But I'm just looking at that Doku's assist. Bro, this is what a winger is meant to be. This is what a winger is meant to be. And I took Rodri out of my FPL for Muembo. It kind of paid off. But you see what we have, and what you see what the difference in scouting level is. And by the way, that Doku transfer came out of nowhere. when City were signing him. It was just like bam, yep, City signing Doku 50 million, however much it was. I can't remember exactly how much it was. But let me know, guys, in terms of before I wrap up this stream, you lot know what it is. 5 things we learned, or 3 things. I'll do 3 things what we learned after game week 11. I've actually missed 2 game weeks because I was away, but it is what it is. Number one, Andre Onana is looking a bit more confident. Last couple games, he's looking a bit more confident. Maybe bar the City and Newcastle game, but the games where we've had, where we've picked up points, he's looked better. Today's goalkeeping and saves that he made, a lot better than what we saw earlier into the season. And I think he's only going to get better. His passing hasn't been that great, not been that great. But like I said, I'm a bit more lenient. I told you, I'm a bit more lenient with players that we've signed this summer because I would rather just, discuss them when they've been at the club for 6 months or so. But that's number one. Number two, Anthony Dos Santos. Whatever comes after that. That's it. I don't think he can be this right winger at the club. Amad Diallo, brother, my Ivorian brother. That right hand side is up for grabs when you're back from injury in January, February, whenever it is, inshallah. Whenever you're back, yeah, just perform when you get them chances. Just perform. That's it. And you could have that right hand side, unless this is the hill that Erik Ten Hag is willing to die on regarding his player, regarding Anthony, the player that he has a lot of faith and a lot of trust in. I don't, but the manager does. That's his business. I've seen enough. I was impressed with. I remember, guys, I went back to look at my old tweets from last season regarding Anthony, yeah, and I think it was after the Arsenal game. I tweeted saying, this guy's pants, basically, like he's so unimpactful. And then I just went on to see every time I mentioned his name, and I was just laughing because I was like, look at where we are a whole year later, and everybody wants him gone. Everybody wants him gone. I don't think he's good enough to play on the right-hand side unless there's big changes in the way that he plays, his decision-making, his discipline. Unless there's big changes. Because don't get me wrong, I think technically he has good tech ability. He's got a good touch. He can control the ball closely at his feet. Yeah? He can pass when he wants to pass properly. But I feel like his decision-making, it lapses a little bit sometimes. So, for that reason, obviously, I don't want to see him in the club. I don't want to see him playing anymore. But that's just my personal opinion. That's number 2. Number 3, 3 points is all that matters, guys. 3 points. It's the big thing for me, anyways. 3 points, most important thing today. Is the most important thing at the end of the season. When you look back at all the games, you'd be like, you know what? 3 points there, 3 points here, 3 points everywhere. It wasn't the greatest performance, but we walked away with something. Was we deserving of it? That's a debate for another day. But that's 3 points for Erik Ten Hag. That's 3 points for the boys. That's 3 points for a team that really, really needed something out of this game. And I'll take it. I'm happy with that. Big up to everyone in the chat as always. You lot know what it is, man. I hope you enjoy your Saturday. There's a lot of football on today. I think it's Newcastle versus Arsenal. I think it's the Borussia Dortmund versus Bayern Munich as well later on. This weekend as well, a lot of women's football. Make sure you guys stop by 6:40 tomorrow. Go turn your post notifications on, so you guys get notified when I go live for a vibe along with for Manchester United women's team. I will actually do some gameplay streaming today or tomorrow. I haven't really decided yet. I ain't decided too tough yet. But if you lot want a little break away from football, away from the dramas of Manchester United, come through. I'll probably play Spider-Man or Assassin's Creed. I haven't decided yet. And I will probably stream here as well as on Twitch, just because a lot of people said they don't have Twitch. Big up to everyone. Make sure you lot turn on your post notifications. You lot know what it is. Like I said, a lot of content coming to the channel, of course, throughout the next couple of weeks. I will make up for the fact that I didn't post for 2 weeks, man. You lot know what it is. Be sure to hit the like button on your way out. And I will catch you lot all either later tonight for some gameplay streaming, or tomorrow evening for Manchester United women. You lot know what it is, man. Big up to everyone. 3 points, guys. Don't stress. Don't stress. 3 points on the board, man. You lot know what it is. Until next time, guys. Hope you have a wonderful Saturday. Peace.